Hey there, maple syrup lovers. Today, I'm diving into a sticky situation that could affect your breakfast table. How could Trump's tariffs raise your maple syrup prices? Let's dive in. For nearly 30 years, Kevin Keyes and his brother-in-law Bob Chambers have run Drybrook Sugar House in Salem, New York. Nestled amid maple forests on the border of New York and Vermont, this year they had their best season yet, producing 4,000 gallons of maple syrup. But even though American producers sell to American consumers, they haven't escaped President Trump's trade war unscathed. Trump placed 25% tariffs on all goods from Canada in March, partly to help domestic industries. Yet nearly all the equipment needed to produce maple syrup in the US is imported from Canada. Higher production costs could ultimately impact the price Americans pay for a bottle of maple syrup. Adam Wild, director of Cornell University's Uihlein Maple Research Forest, says that since producers operate on thin margins, the 25% tariff will likely lead to higher prices for consumers. Most of the equipment comes from Quebec, and any added tariff would increase those costs for producers. Maple farmers, who often run family businesses, agree they can't shoulder these higher costs alone. Kevin Keyes from Drybrook Sugar House explains, if something goes up 25% or even 5%, and you sell it at the same price you've been selling it at for years, that is going to dent our pockets. At Mapleland Farms, also in Salem, co-owner David Campbell is hesitant to pass higher costs onto consumers. It's tough raising prices when you're trying to offer a fair price, but they've got to make a living too. During maple season, Campbell's farm runs up to 20,000 tap lines collecting sap. They regularly need to upgrade equipment, but the tariffs could negatively impact smaller farms looking to expand, or new farmers entering the industry. America produced 5.86 million gallons of maple syrup last year, mainly in New York and Vermont. But that's not enough to meet American demand. The US imports about 60% of Canada's maple syrup, and maintaining that supply is crucial. David Campbell points out, we'd need more equipment and labor, which is already an issue. And with market dynamics, the cost of American-made syrup will rise in tandem with Canadian syrup prices. Quebec producers have a tight grip on prices through their strategic reserves, often called the OPEC of maple syrup. They store more syrup than the US produces in a year, and they control supply and prices effectively. In February, the International Maple Syrup Institute urged the U.S. Agriculture Secretary against imposing tariffs, fearing it would harm U.S. producers and burden consumers. The USDA thanked them but didn't address their concerns. With tariff talks changing week to week, all these farmers can do is hold steady and wait to see how the trade war trickles down to their family farms. Kevin Keyes remains resolute, saying, if tariffs go in place on syrup, we'll have to raise